All right, guys, this is lesson 7 as was presented in class on Monday, October 26th. Started with our opening. In the previous lesson, you began planning your narrative using the graphic organizer. In this lesson, you will continue planning your narrative and focusing on the second part of the graphic organizer, in which you determine which scene to rewrite. Learning targets, I can demonstrate understanding of the excerpt from chapter 22. I can determine where to insert my new character into and plan to revise the original scene so that it doesn't change the outcome of the story. Our entrance tickets today asks us to look at the two sentences and explain how they're similar and how they're different, and how studying these two sentences can help us write our own narratives. So we have number 1, I steered Grover and Annabeth toward the exit, loaded them into the elevator, and was about to get in myself when I realized there were already 2 other tourists inside, no room for me. Second sentence, Percy steered me, Grover, and Annabeth toward the exit and loaded us into the elevator. Because of the 2 tourists already inside, there wasn't room for him. So first sentence comes from our text from Percy Jackson, and that is told from Percy's point of view. The second sentence is from the model narrative told from Parker, the new demigod character's point of view. So similarities, there are quite a few. It is similar context. We have that Percy, Grover, and Annabeth don't fit on the elevator, all of them, that Grover and Annabeth go on, and Percy is left behind because there were already 2 other tourists inside. And the difference is the different point of view, and that we have an additional character in the second one as well. And the reason we looked at these sentences and spent time analyzing them is because you will be doing something similar when you write your narrative on Wednesday. That will be your end of unit assessment, is writing your narrative. We then read chapter 22, the final chapter of Percy Jackson. You will have a gist and vocab assignment to follow that up. Vocab words we have are siesta and constitution, so please make sure you look at those definitions to use them correctly. After that, we are back into the graphic organizer that we started on Friday. So on Friday, let me make sure I get to the right one. Nope. On Friday, you made a copy of this graphic organizer, and you worked on the first page where you were working on your demigod character. So you named your character, gave us information about the godly parents, and then gave information about your new character. That's important. Sources that you use on the research Greek god or goddess note catcher can be listed there, and then possible scene ideas. Today, we're focusing on planning that scene. So the second page of this graphic organizer is what you are working on today. I would like page numbers that cover the scene that you are focusing on. Give me the chapter and chapter title, as well as a few highlights from that chapter. So a little bit more than a gist, but it can be bullet points. Then give me ideas for how you're going to change that by adding your character. What will your character bring to that scene? How will it change it without changing the ending? And then an explanation of why you chose this scene. So we do have an example here in this assignment. If we go down here, hope you're enjoying my neighbors doing yard work. This is an example of how they completed the note catcher based on the model narrative using chapter 13 called I Plunged to My Death. They give information about how the scene is going to be revised and then explain why the scene was chosen. I chose the scene because I felt like what happened to all of the characters besides Percy was unresolved, and this allowed resolution. Nothing happened to the Chimera in the book, and we get to see something happen to the Chimera in the model narrative. Finally, you are going to be reading Welcome to the Underworld, an independent reading assignment, and doing a gist for that as well. So oops, I just lost what I was going to show you. What you're going to be working on is the gist and vocab for chapter 22, page 2 of that graphic organizer. We'll continue with that tomorrow, and then independent reading and gist.